Hi Nat5, so we are still looking at producing new cells, and in particular we are looking at stem cells and the term differentiation. So we have two types of cells in our body. Well, actually we have thousands of different types of cells in our body, but we can split them into unspecialized cells which don't actually already have a particular adaptations to jobs. And more likely, we have specialized cells. And those specialized cells we have thousands of different types of. So you've got your nerve cells, your heart cells, your lung cells, everything going on and on and on. And every single one of these cells will have characteristics that allow it to do its particular job. It's the shape and function thing again. But this would also include the enzymes it produces and everything else that lets it do its job. And you're amazing, and you have such variety inside the cells. But at one point, they were all identical. They were not actually specialized like this, because you started off as a single cell. So to shift from an unspecialized cell to specialized, it goes through a process called differentiation, becoming different. Okay, and this is all controlled by the nucleus, because in the nucleus we have the instructions for every single different cell type. We just choose which ones get switched on and off. So in the nucleus, if you want to become, say, a red blood cell, you're going to have to switch on the genes for hemoglobin, you're going to have to switch on a whole pile of genes to change the shape of the cell into the biconcave disc, and right at the end, you're even going to trigger the destruction of the nucleus to give yourself even more space. So you control all that using the genes in the nucleus. So we have particular names for cells which can become a different type of cell, and these are stem cells. And so it's an unspecialized cell, which you find in animals. They're called something slightly different in plants, and they can self-renew. Okay, so that means that they can just keep on dividing and staying as they are. In the early embryo, we have embryonic stem cells, and they are quite impressive because they can become pretty much everything. And then in the adults, so once you're actually not an embryo anymore, then you have adult stem cells or tissue stem cells. And they are a little bit different because what they can do is just become a subset of cells. So the one you might have heard of is bone marrow. And if you take bone marrow cells, they can become a whole pile of different blood cells, but they can't become, say, heart or brain. Okay, so where you take them from defines kind of what they can do. So your stem cells are used for growth and repair, and the potential for what you can do with them is huge. If we could manage to get stem cells to work the way we want them to, then technically you could replace any damage that's being done. So that's kind of cure for everything old agey. So stem cells are where we start, but once you specialize and it's become differentiated, then we actually organize our cells into much better groups than that. So we start off with our cell, so a single cell, and then we get cells of a similar type and we can organize them into tissues. Okay, these tissues can then join up together with different tissues to make an organ, and then the organs join up to make a system. And then the systems technically join up to make the organism. So that could be something like, you know, a muscle cell, which then joins up to make muscle tissue, which then connects all together with nerve cell tissue and with epithelial cells and with connective cells to make the organ, which is the kidney. And then the kidney is hooked up with other kidneys, the urethra, your ureter, the bladder, and that makes the urinary system. Okay, that's it.